So what did we start with here? This is the Ryzen 9 3950X 16 core. I mounted it to a MSI MEG X570 Ace, which is a really neat motherboard. And we use the Power Color AMD 5700 XT graphics card. And I'm powering that with the Seasonic 1000 watt. And the thought process is it's definitely more CPU than I need now, but things are moving along pretty quick, and I don't change computers very often at all, and I do a lot of video editing. I've got Linux, Ubuntu Studio on this drive. I've got Windows on this drive. This is a 1 terabyte NvMe M.2. This is a 500 gig NvMe.2, and they're just lightning fast. I had to get this Type-C USB card reader. It's very nice. And then I got the Trident Z Neo. I ended up with 64 gig of RAM. I got 4 16 gig 3600 megahertz paired with the Ryzen. So this is an all AMD system, and I'm cooling it with the H115i Platinum cooler. I initially tried its smaller cousin and it didn't work. This one keeps it right where it should be at well under 70 degrees. So but it needed help, so I had to get fans, and I've actually got 2 more 140 millimeter fans on the way, and then I got a controller and the keyboard. Everybody starts up front, but I figure the heart of the system really is the power supply. This one's fully modular. It's really neat just to have all the cables. Now all the cables are really long, but they need to be. And so I found various ways to make it as neat as I could figure out how to. This is all my RGB stuff here. That's the USB 3.0 that goes to the front of the panel, but everything behind it, and it's quite a big area back here, but it's got all the RGB stuff tied up. The main trunk here, the motherboard, graphics card, and the CPU. I'll go through this trunk and branch off. Took 3 different attempts to get it this neat. I have everything already wired up. I have the mounts on the way to turn this optical drive bay into a dual 3.5 inch hard drive bay, where I'm going to back up my operating system and everything I do on 2 much less expensive drives. And this is a rack here for 4 SATA SSDs. I took one out of my laptop just to play with it, and it actually works really, really well. It's much faster than I thought it would be. The M.2s are just fire, but the SATA SSD is still very nice, so I'll probably store all my work on the SSDs. I'll back the system up on a hard drive, and then I'll run the operating systems and try and do the editing on the M.2s. It's all very clean. I've got enough power out now for everything, so I can get 2 drives up here and then more SSDs. There's going to be a limit. I'm going to have a SATA splitter or something, but I'll have to figure that out later. I only have 4 SATA ports that I know of, but there's a lot of other things. Maybe I can use a PCIe lane and connect all the SSDs. I'll look into something like that. But the power unit's really nice. And it's got a hybrid mode switch. I don't know what that is yet, but I'll look into it. So, what's going on here in the front of the case? Got my motherboard, my AIO cooler, and the RAM there. It all went in really easy, as it was supposed to. The AIO cooler, I originally bought the H100i RGB Pro, and it couldn't keep the 16 core chip cool, so I had to switch out to the H115i, and it seems to be doing a much better job. When I'm editing video, shoving tons of video into the system, temperatures do get high, so I added fans. This case came with 240mm fans, actually 3. It had this exhaust fan, but I have turned that fan around to be, it pulls air into the case, as do these 3 120. So I have 320mm fans and a 140mm fan pulling air into the case. Then I have 4 140mm fans pushing air out of the case. I've got to make a Z-strip for this that'll mount these fans here. It was where 3.5-inch hard drives were supposed to go, but I'm going to go ahead and mount those in the optical bay area instead. This case needed a little help in staying super cool, and I wanted to help it.